So I don't think there is any IO, living or dead, who's done 8 years as interview officer. So long time, and 20,000. I was one day thinking in my mind, 20,000, more than 20,000 candidates in the stage one. More than 8,000 interviews now I have done.
My God.
And a lot of candidates come with that idea. You friends के साथ जाके रहेंगे. अरे भाई, पहले तुम्हारा why बिल्कुल clear होना चाहिए. तुम यहाँ आया किस लिए है? You come here for the purpose of SSB. All these visiting places and meeting friends, meeting relatives is secondary. पहले मेरा जो है अर्जुन की तरह आपकी आंख जो है आपकी आंख फोकस होनी चाहिए फिश की आंख पे. And NDA of course those 3 years NDA में तो कहते हैं तुम चले जाओ ना. You don't have to do anything. They will push you. यह तुम्हें जो है इतनी वो such a beautiful scenario that you see and everybody sees what beautiful buildings. उस टाइम पे कोई ब्यूटी नहीं दिखाई देती भाई. उस समय तो तुम्हें ये मानना था ये रोड है, इसको फ्रंट रोल भी करना है, इसी को हंचिंग करनी है.
NDA is like that place only. कि जब आप अंदर होते हो then you just hate it. When you come outside then you want to go back actually.
Yes.
तू चलता जा, तू चलता जा, तू चलता जा, तू बढ़ता जा, तू बढ़ता जा, तू बढ़ता जा, तू लड़ता जा, तू लड़ता जा, तू लड़ता जा, तू बढ़ता जा, तू बढ़ता जा, तू बढ़ता जा.
जय हिंद, वंदे मातरम और भारत माता की जय. स्वागत है आपका द फौजी शो में. द फौजी शो में सामाजिक जिम्मेदारी की तरफ एक विनम्र कोशिश है. इस शो से इकट्ठा किया हर पैसा भारत के वीर फाउंडेशन में जाएगा ताकि हमारे शहीद भाई बहन की फैमिलीज को कोई भी आर्थिक समस्या ना आए. आपके एक लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब से किसी की सहायता हो सकती है. क्योंकि मैं खुद एक एक्स NDA हूँ और नेशनल डिफेंस एकेडमी में 3 साल ट्रेनिंग किया हूँ. मैं सम्मान करता हूँ हर उस भाई बहन का जो सरहद पर है ताकि हम जैसे लोग, आप और मैं, चैन की नींद सो सके.
जय हिंद, वंदे मातरम एंड भारत माता की जय. स्वागत है आपको on the Fauji show. If you're listening to us on any audio platform, give us 5-star rating so that others can also see this video. Today we have with us very special guest, Col Pankaj sir. He is an alumnus of Sainik School, Lucknow, and he is an alumnus of NDA and IMA. He was commissioned in air defense, जिसमें मेरे father has also served and my grandfather has also served. So I feel that connection with him and vibe with him. Sir has also served in Allahabad board and Bhopal board as interviewing officer and has had service as deputy president as well. So आज हम उनसे पूछेंगे about air defense, about his academy life, about his service at SSB board, interviewing officer, and kya tips for the aspirants, kya nahi karna chahiye. You must have seen sir on other platforms like Josh Talks also. So wahan pe bhi sir's video had gone viral. So it's a privilege to have you sir on our platform, and thank you so much for accepting my invitation. Sir is now heading Trishul Defence Academy. So you can check out that. The link is in description.
Thank you, Simrat. Very nicely that you spoke. I must correct you. I actually am associated with the Trishul Defence Academy because of my dear friend who was Wing Commander Simrat Mehrotra, who was the founder of this particular academy. Unfortunately, he passed away during the COVID. And after his going away, his son, Abhinav Mehrotra, who is looking after this, was actually looking for somebody from the services who could associate himself. And I found, as I was retiring, I found that this could be one platform wherein my experience as an interviewing officer and deputy president of the 4 SSBs, twice at Allahabad in the 11 and 34 SSB, and twice at Bhopal in 21 and 22 SSB, would help the candidates in whatever way I could. So that is why I joined the Trishul Defence Academy, and I'm very thankful to them. The way they go across actually is synonymous with my own thinking. Otherwise, I had invitations from others also. I did had a small stint with other academies also, but somehow I didn't find the vibe actually which is required, because at my age and service, at my stage of life, I'm more looking for satisfaction rather than any financial gains. I've set up
Yes.
a dormitory also here in Allahabad after my retirement, which is basically for
The
the
link is in description for dormitory, ssbdormitory.com, so you can check that out as well.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
that is also very good. So the candidates would know we have this dormitory exclusively for the candidates, and the aim is, because of those 8 years experience in the SSB, I found that candidates who came in the morning actually found it very difficult to find a place which was congenial, hygienic, congenial to their requirement. SSB, I feel, is a very different type of testing procedure, and the candidate who comes here should be well rested, should be calm, cool, and should be able to get over his nerves. It is the nerves which play the most important part in the SSB. So I set up this place, cool place, so that where the candidates can put their hair down, interact with each other, interact with me in the evening, 1 hour session I hold for them. And next day morning, we provide them a free drop to the selection center, so that early morning you are not in a hurry. Koi transport milegi ki nahi milegi, because 5:30 in the morning you have to come out. So we have that sort of a facility available. So
That's actually
I've seen that a lot of candidates have utilized this facility,
yes,
and I'm happy. Large number of people are emulating this sort of a thing. Actually, I'm happy in Allahabad. The people have started emulating. I'll be so happy if such facilities exist for the candidates.
great. So I think it's much required. So I remember when I went for my SSB, सुबह 6 बजे मेरी reporting थी वहाँ पे, and my train had landed up there at around 4 in the morning. So those small little things, your mind is well rested. If you come one day prior, you have better rig to perform, because my clothes, I lost my iron also, and it was not the experience didn't go well, but luckily I got recommended in Allahabad only, so that way I was lucky. But so I think it's much required. The link is in description, guys, you can check it out. And so moving ahead,
No, let me interrupt you, Simran.
Sir.
I don't think you are lucky. I was seeing one of your interviews. The way you went around doing your preparations was really praiseworthy. I was very happy seeing that. And so I will not call you lucky. I'll call you that you are a very, very wise person who went around preparing for this in a very methodical manner, and very good. I was really very happy that here is a candidate. Unfortunate that you really got hurt and left out the academy. So I was very happy, and not very many candidates at your age for coming for NDA and all. I've seen candidates, a lot of candidates think यार कि सुबह पहुंच जाएंगे, 4 बजे ट्रेन पहुंच जाएगी, SSB तो 6 बजे होनी है. We are granting too much to our Indian Railways. रात में सब ट्रेन 1 बजे आती है. Yeah, the stage 1 testing that you people are put through, it is a mentally draining exercise. You would have seen it yourself, and I would keep telling my candidates also, don't worry, one day before if you come, at least stay, if not in the SSB dormitory, stay anywhere, but at least come so that you are relaxed. You are relaxed and your mind is calm and cool. And a lot of candidates come with that idea, your friends के साथ जाके रहेंगे. अरे भाई, पहले तुम्हारा why बिल्कुल clear होना चाहिए. तुम यहाँ आया किस लिए है? You come here for the purpose of SSB. All these visiting places and meeting friends, meeting relatives is secondary. पहले मेरा जो है अर्जुन की तरह आपकी आंख जो है, आपकी आंख फोकस होनी चाहिए फिश की आंख पे. तो भाई मेरा SSB is my aim. First aim is this. उसके बाद रिश्तेदारों से जाके मिलेंगे. That is so much better. But a lot of candidates think यार चलता है, and that is what is the result, and that is why people keep craving. इस और इतना कम selection है भाई. It is not the mistake of the SSB कितना कम selection. It's the mistake of the candidates. Candidates must learn from you the way you describe your preparations. It was really good, and that is how people must go in methodically, a method to really go around and prepare for the SSB.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, I know NDA तो आप इसलिए गए होगे because you were from Sainik School, but Sainik School आपको कहाँ से किसने motivate किया कि to join Sainik School?
let me very, very frankly admit to you, it was just my desire to go away from the home. हम लोग जब जो होते हैं 10-11 साल की उम्र में यार, तो I was born in Bareilly, studied in Shishu Niketan School in the Bareilly. My father is, I would say, is a small time business. We have a huge family in Bareilly, and घर के पास स्कूल होता था शिशु निकेतन, 5th स्टैंडर्ड तक मैं आ गया. उसके बाद गवर्नमेंट इंटर कॉलेज में एडमिशन हो गया. एंड पतंगबाजी का बहुत शौक था, खूब पतंग उड़ाते थे, काफी डांट भी खाते थे. जब डांट पड़ती थी तो ये मन करता था यार कहाँ फंस गए, बाहर चलते हैं पढ़ाई के लिए. एंड इट वाज sheer luck that the science school entrance exam was happening in government inter college Bareilly, and I took a form. I went to my father. I told him इसको साइन कर दीजिए. उन्हें तो पता भी नहीं कि क्या करने के लिए बोल रहा है. He said what is this? I said science school. इसे यार science school जाने के लिए तो बड़ा मुश्किल होता है, because my Bua's son was there in science school and he had learned that he had to पापड़ बहुत बेलने पड़ते उधर जाने के लिए. He said I can't do. I said I don't want anything. I said आप उसके बाद साइन कर दो, कुछ मुझे पुश नहीं चाहिए, मुझे no money is required, and bus just do this. And I went, and I remember at that point of time the mathematics teacher, the English teacher, the way they used to teach us, I think science school entrance was a cakewalk for me, and I got into science school. There was no desire in my mind. There was nobody in my ancestors who was in the army. Like you are a 6th generation. I was reading 6th or 7th generation into the army. मेरे यहाँ कोई नहीं था यार आर्मी में. There was nobody pure, business family. And I got into science school. And once got into science school, then of course there was no looking back. Then of course everything kept falling in place. In our times, we used to go to NDA after class 11th.
Yes.
उम्र भी कम थी यार उस समय. तो उन्होंने क्या किया, आपको क्लास वो बड़ी मुश्किल से जो है I appeared, came to Allahabad at that point of time. UPSC का एग्जाम भी यहीं पे होता था, यहाँ आके UPSC का एग्जाम दिया. And in those days the NDA used to be descriptive types.
Yes.
And not the types that you have now कि उसमें से 4 में से 1 ऑप्शन
Objective. Yes.
ना, ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप नहीं था तब. तो हमने भैया वो भी पास हो गया यार, एंड एनडीए पास हो गया. हम लोग क्या होता है, बाय द टाइम यू फिनिश योर फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट, merit of the NDA is not yet out, so you have to appear for the second test also. So I had filled up the form also. First day when I came for my NDA का second test, वो result आ गया उसके बाद. And second time when I was appearing in the year 1977, वो objective type के ऊपर shift हो चुका. तो अभी मेरे फ्रेंड्स थे सारे हाई स्कूल के क्लासमेट वगैरह, उन्होंने कहा यार अब तू क्या करेगा, There's no need for you to पास हो गया, तू जा. तू मैंने यार मैं करूंगा क्या, अकेला बैठ के तुम सब आते हो एग्जाम देने, मैं भी तुम्हारे साथ चलता हूँ, एग्जाम तो दे ही देता हूँ, सेकंड टाइम भी दे देता हूँ. तो आई गेव द सेकंड एग्जाम आल्सो, एंड उसमें ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप थे, अब तो पास हो गए थे, इसलिए बस तो काफी तुक्का लगाया यार कि ABCD जो मन किया है उसको टिक करते गए. And lo and behold, when the result came for the second, I had cleared the second one also, and those who were supposed to clear, they didn't clear. And I was the only person from my batch. I got into from science school at that point of time and got into NDA. It was in the years 77, December 77 that I joined NDA. December 80, I passed out from NDA. And NDA, of course, those 3 years, NDA में तो कहते हैं तुम चले जाओ ना, you don't have to do anything. They will push you. Yeah, तुम्हें जो है इतनी such a beautiful scenario that you see, and everybody sees what beautiful buildings. उस टाइम पे कोई ब्यूटी नहीं दिखाई देती भाई. उस समय तो तुम्हें ये मालूम था ये रोड है, इसको फ्रंट रोल भी करना है, इसको हंचिंग करनी है. So it went through, and of course I always liked my studies. That those 3 years in NDA, they are very teaching time. They of course make a man out of you, and they make you feel how great your body is, how much of punishment can it take, how much of physical torture it can take. Those exercises, you've already done them, when you go for those camps and all. It is really, when I look back and think of it, I feel so happy that I went through all this. But at the end of the day, 3 years, very teaching experience, and I will say very calm. I was very lucky. A lot of people say, "Yaar, मैंने इतने वहाँ पर punishments किया है, या मैंने इतने classes किए." 3 things did not happen to me. I never reported. Okay, so complete training I went through without. God was very kind to me. Second thing that happened to me was I never missed an academic class. And third thing was there was no punishment. All 3 years I was very lucky. So you can call me smart also. That I was
Sir, OG would be a better word, sir.
So I was smart enough to avoid all those EDs and those restrictions that you get. And I was very lucky that way. I was in
Sir,
Bravo Squad.
I was at 12 EH. That is like in your time we used to have singers. These days singers नहीं होता है, EH होता है. So we are sent to Raleras. And
Acha.
ED, so I have lost count how many EDs. But luckily I didn't have any restrictions. I didn't do any restrictions. That way I was lucky. But great. Sir, you were in Bravo Squadron, right?
That's right. I was in Bravo Squad, and Bravo can, Bravo must, Bravo will. I think that was a thing. And our batch, we were lucky when we passed out, we became the champion squad also.
Acha. Sir, same here. In our sixth term, we also got the banner actually.
Yeah, that.
Your banner course.
So you feel wonderful when you look back and think of those years. And we did a lot of hard work, of course, thanks to all our seniors, the division seniors, understudies, and all those things that happened. So it was a good time, good 3 years. And when I came to IMA, from NDA you come to IMA, you go to second term. Now, I was one of those very mediocre, I'll say, as far as the physical activity is concerned. 6 string का मैं player था, मेरे पास कोई games वगैरह कोई, I was never I used to play cricket, and of course there in the academy I did play for the battalion, number 1 battalion के लिए cricket जरूर खेला थोड़ा सा, and but otherwise rest of the games you have no choice. वो 6 string में आपको हॉकी नहीं भी आती हो, आपको हॉकी स्टिक तो पकड़नी ही पड़ेगी, ठीक है? तो 6 string का मैं player होता था, and maybe basketball I was in the 3rd string.
Yes, sir. Likewise, I was also in Brujandal. So I was in academy team golf. So I told them that I know basketball. I've been playing in school. तो मेरे को उसमें डाल दो. But they said कि basketball में तो 6 termers I want to play. So you will play in hockey because you are Khalsa and you play golf also. So I was made to put in 5th string. And I realized very soon that यहाँ पे skill is not important. Either the man or the ball.
Yeah. Your Josh, how much of Josh you can really put in? I think that is the smart thing that the NDA teaches you, is to take everything in a stride. Without even knowing a game, you go into the field and with so much of Josh and enthusiasm that you play for the squad. I think that is what is the important thing. Playing is important, it's not the skill. skill वाले हैं लोग जो कि first string में खेलना है, second string में खेलना है, हम तो उसमें जोश के लिए खेलना है.
Yes, sir. Actually, there's a 1 month gap between when the inter-squad event starts. So in that 1 month, we were made to go to polo fields and all to practice, and I soon realized it was not practice; it was only bamboo. And then afterwards, I asked my senior that, sir, we are not getting how to play. तो हम जीतेंगे कैसे? So I was the first timer. So he said, he had a look at me and he said, you don't need goals to win. अगर सामने वाले टीम में 7 से कम बंदे हो जाएं तब भी तुम जीत सकते हो. तो I was like, भाई क्या बोल रहे हो? Amazing. India is like that place only. कि जब आप अंदर होते हो, then you just hate it. When you come outside, then you want to go back. Actually.
Yes, I agree. That is always that sort of a relationship exists. And it is right from those times. Of course, times have changed, and I think the requirements have also changed. हमारे टाइम पे तो भाई there were no mobile phones and there were nothing of that nature. TV was also not there. तो बस म्यूजिक बजती थी, जैम सेशन होते थे, तो उसी में हाथ पैर हिला लो, जोश बस वही होता था.
Yes, so these days mobile phones are relegatory in India. So, but वहाँ पे still sir, जो मना करोगे कोई ना कोई तो करेगा ही. So, right. Sir, moving forward, IMA में, IMA must not be that tough for you because you are an ex-ND after all. So, how was that?
See, IMA when I got to IMA, second term में होते हो आप as a NDA, of course there are a lot of expectations from you. I remember यार मेरे को जो बूट मिला था, वो साला उससे मेरे जो ना शू बाइट हो गई मेरे, and being ex-NDA, you can't say कि यार तुम्हें physical activity को, भाई साहब उसको मैंने, I didn't tell anybody, neither did I report sick. मैंने यार मेरा record है, आज तक मैंने report sick नहीं किया, and that very thing developed into some sort of a septic thing in my way. And the first time I had to go, and I got admitted in MH for good, I think 4 days. And when I went there, then I realized, what have I missed in my life? यार ये रिपोर्टिंग सीख was the best. साला पूरा एनडीए का टाइम निकाल दिया, कभी रिपोर्ट सीख नहीं किया यार, ये तो बड़ा अच्छी चीज है। एमएच में आया वो तो रगड़ा तो खूब होता ही है यार। आफ्टर ऑल योर बॉडी, हु वांट्स टू डू दैट रगड़ा, बट ठीक है। जब तक नहीं था तब तक तो ये था कि यार एनडीए है, कैसे, हाउ कैन आई रिपोर्ट सिक एंड ऑल, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली दैट septic thing went, and about 7 days I was in the MH, and those 7 days also I remember, you know, वहां जाके पहली बार वो मजा आता था, ब्रेड के ऊपर जैम लगाओ, उसके ऊपर फिर ऑमलेट रखो और फिर खाओ। वो एनडीए का भी होता था, लेकिन वो जो पहली बार जब एमएच में जाके एंजॉय किया ना, देन आई रियलाइज आई मिस्ड आउट ऑफ समथिंग इन लाइफ। कोई मकरा गलती नहीं की थी एनडीए में, बट आईएमए ने सिखाई थोड़ी सी ये चीज, यार थोड़ा सा रिपोर्ट चेक भी कर लेना चाहिए था, एटलीस्ट दिस वुड हैव बीन द पार्ट। But of course, thereafter, physical activities are never a problem. And of course, NDA is a little different. In the NDA, you are more oriented towards the academics also, because you have to do well in the academy. And I was good at academics. So academics took me up in the merit as far as NDA was concerned. But when you come to IMA, it is more of your physical activities. Jitna zyada aap physically involved ho gaye in the games, in the sports, in various activities, there it is only your army training that is taking place, and of course your army subjects are being taught. So academics is not a major issue. So of course I still was able to pull through. I'll say I was not a very great going. I was not in those first 20 or super 20 blocks or something, but I was well with it. I think my bag that happened. The choice of arms at that point of time, ordnance and all was supposed to be considered to be यार थोड़ी सी एससी में चले जाओ, ordnance में चले जाओ, तो लगता लोग सोचते थे कि यार ये, और हमारा my bent of mind was little technical sort of bent of mind, तो बस यही सोचते यार क्या करें। My father had a cousin, distant cousin, who was in the ordnance corps. तो my father spoke to him, यार my son is passing out from IMA, अभी उसको क्या। I told him, he said कि उसको ordnance के लिए डालो। ऑर्डिनेंस, हम तो, मैं तो नहीं डाल सकता ऑर्डिनेंस। ऐसे अगर मुझे ऑर्डिनेंस दिला सकते हैं तो उनसे बोलो दिला दे मुझे ऑर्डिनेंस, लेकिन मैं ऑर्डिनेंस डालूंगा सेकंड चॉइस, फर्स्ट चॉइस नहीं डालूंगा ऑर्डिनेंस। तो अब सेकंड चॉइस डाल दी, चलो भाई ऑर्डिनेंस, लेकिन फर्स्ट चॉइस क्या डाला जाए। तो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, द पीपल यूज्ड टू से एयर डिफेंस हैज गुड पोस्टिंग्स, सब अच्छे अच्छे स्टेशन में पोस्टिंग होती थी, एंड दैट वाज फैक्ट आल्सो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम। नाउ ऑफ कोर्स एयर डिफेंस यू विल फाइंड इन सियाचिन आल्सो, you find in eastern sector also. At that point of time there was nobody beyond Kolkata, AD का कोई नाम नहीं था। And so I said यार चलो AD सेलेक्ट करते हैं, क्योंकि इसमें थोड़ा टेक्निकल भी है, मिसाइल्स भी हैं, रडार्स हैं। उस टाइम पे मिसाइल नहीं होता था, लेकिन रडार्स थी, सब कुछ। तो हमने कहा पढ़ाई लिखाई वाली जगह लगती है, अच्छे स्टेशन मिलते हैं। So I opted for air defense as my first choice. Second choice was ordnance. And when I got air defense, I was very happy. But my father told me, you have not put ordnance as your first choice. I said, how do you know? That brother of mine told me that you have put second choice. यार बंदे की पुल थी, फिर तो मैं अगर डाल देता तो शायद मिल जाती मुझे ordnance. But there was never a regret. I think I had a good tenure as far as air defense was concerned. At that point of time, we used to do all the basic courses, like the young officers course. I went to Devlali. And did well in that course, got a silver gun for being the first.
Great.
And of course did my advanced gunnery, my long gunnery staff course there. Ours was the last course at Devlali. Thereafter, of course, Army AD, they shifted from to Gopalpur. So we were the first person after having finished, and I was an instructor gunnery. And lo and behold, I became the IGIC, instructor gunnery, in charge of the VIOS course. And at that point of time, it was just coming up. So those that 1 year, of course, that I took the VIOS course, it was really memorable, because the facility wise we were so low. We didn't have proper those calligraphy things. So I had to make my own slides. You have to teach the VIOS. And the most notorious course in the training institution is the VIOS course. And being the IGIC, and that too at the very first course of the But as things went on, of course, I had good 3 years at Gopalpur after my LGSC, 89 to 92. Finished my tenure of the instructor, then came back again to my unit. 1980 regiment was the regiment that I got commissioned in. At that point in time, it was at Jodhpur, and from Jodhpur we moved to Pathankot. Good time, and there only I got married in Pathankot in the year 85. So good memories of those places. And now, incidentally, this year my unit is completing 75 years of its existence, and they are at Gopalpur now. So I will be there on the 1st of April to celebrate.
I was born in Gopalpur, sir.
Oh, very good, yeah. Gopalpur mein, how come?
Sir, my father was posted there. He was doing his course.
Oh, acha. Good, yeah. No, that's very good. So another connection that you have with Gopalpur is your birthplace.
Yes. Yes, it's a beautiful place, especially the beaches and all. I went there afterwards with my mother also, so beautiful.
I will go there and see it, because I have not been there after my 92, but I'm told that the place has come up beautifully, an Army AD college there. Of course, training wise and all, little weather wise, we are not so well off. The Army AD school suffered a hell of a lot when the cyclones and all hit that area. So I think, but all said and done, the place has become very beautiful, and the Army AD college has come up in a great way after its success in the 89.
Sir, for our audience, can you please elaborate what is the job of an air defense battalion, and how on what equipment were you trained, and if you would like to share that?
Like, see, the basic equipment as far as the air defense is concerned is a gun. Now, there are various types of guns. In our times, L-70 used to be the basic equipment. All our courses and all training was done on L-70 equipment, but there were units which were equipped with Shilka guns. There were units which were equipped with Ju-23 double barrel guns. And there were other, like thereafter missiles came in, Uzaka missile came in. And the basic aim or the responsibility of the air defense is to provide protection to the ground assets and ground forces from the enemy air. So we are equipped with anti-aircraft guns, we are equipped with missiles, we are equipped with radar, so that we get early warning, of the enemy's imminent air attack, and we are, before the enemy can really deliver its own warheads to our to destroy our assets, we should be able to take on the aircraft. That is, in a nutshell, the basic aim of the Army Air Defense.
सर, एक सवाल मैंने आपसे पूछा नहीं एनडीए वाले क्वेश्चन में कि आपका एफएल क्या था?
Okay, Persian was my FL. I was foreign language was Persian.
Okay, so मेरा Arabic था सर, मतलब था तो इसलिए I was asking.
Persian हमने इसलिए सेलेक्ट किया था कि हमने सोचा ये उर्दू से मिलता जुलता है, थोड़ा बहुत काम रहेगा, so हो जाएगा ये. So Persian was the language.
Great. These days Persian is not there. That's why.
I am told, yes, it is not there.
Arabic, Chinese, Russian, and French.
Chinese वगैरह तो बड़ी difficult होती थी यार. French भी बड़ा difficult माना जाता था.
Yes, sir.
Of course, the Russian teacher I was told was very good at that point of time. So a lot of people used to join Russian because the teacher was good. Lady teacher was there.
This thing is still there, sir. Actually.
So you are not interested in the foreign language, you are interested in who is teaching. Only some beautiful faces are there at some places, so you want to be there.
Great. Sir, how was the last day when you had to retire, and 4 decades of service, almost 4 decades se bhi zyada if you count Sainik School. And
that's right, 70. Actually, when I went out of my house, it was year 72. And yes, now sir. It is 22 is over. So, मतलब 50 साल से तो ऊपर हो गए घर से बाहर निकले हुए. And then after you've been only a guest in your house, you only go on छुट्टी पे जाते हो. फिर उसके बाद जब शादी हो जाती थी तो 2 महीने की छुट्टी भी आपको घर जाते थे. जब एनडीए वगैरह से छुट्टी वगैरह से क्या होता था यार, most of the time you spent sleeping and बस सोए, उठे, खाना खाया, फिर सो गए. Because most of the friends, I was just 16 and a half when I joined the NDA. So मेरे जितने भी फ्रेंड्स होते थे, जब मैं वापस जाता था तो उनकी क्लासेस, कोई अपना ग्रेजुएशन कर रहा है, कोई इसकी कॉलेज होता था, ज्यादा कोई कंपनी में जाती, शाम को थोड़ा बहुत समय मिल जाता था लोगों के साथ, वही होता था. तो this years actually, as I went, I had a very good tenure in the Army Air Defense. got a silver gun in the YOs, got very good gradings, alpha gradings, most of the courses that I did. First grading other than alpha was, of course, in the int course that I did at Pune, into school at Pune. So that is where I got little less grading, B grading I got. Otherwise, rest of the places I did well. I went on to command my unit in Bhuj, became a CO of that regiment, and it was in the year 2001. Immediately after that, 26 January, the earthquake that destroyed Bhuj actually. And after that, in the month of June, even before my results were out, I was sent. And I can't forget the Colonel MS at that point of time, who used to sit on I was also posted in the army headquarters at that point of time as a lieutenant colonel. He called me one fine day. He says, Pankaj, come over, have a cup of tea with me. I went up. I was all the time planning, यार हमारा बोर्ड होने वाला है अभी, 4-5 दिन में बोर्ड होना था, एक हफ्ते में और होता है, ऐसा क्या चलो जाएंगे बोर्ड देखें कैसे होता है बोर्ड. बहुत सुना था कि भाई सिलेक्शन बोर्ड का जो है लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल तो बन चुके थे, तो सेकंड बोर्ड वाज देयर एंड उम्मीदें तो थी बिकॉज़ आई हैड डन माय सीनियर कमांड एंड ऑल. सो he called me up. He says, I have selected you to command my unit that I commanded. I said, sir, I'm honored. But abhi to mera result hi nahi aaya, sir. No. He says, you have to go there because the unit is now without a CO. Our CO had gone out and the person who was the officiating CO had met with a very serious accident. So he was in the hospital. He said, the unit is without a CO. The Major Saab is now commanding. So you have to go there. I said, sir, result to aa jana to. He said, no. He said, when I'm telling you, you go means go. And he had picked me up because also he thought, yaar, mera Delhi mein reh raha hu main, probably I'll be very happy. Which at that point time had already been declared as a field posting. So I will be happy to go there, leaving my family. I'll be able to get my separated family accommodation in Delhi. So I said, theek hai sir. Now that you have given me this honor, I'll honor this. So I went to Bhuj. Wahan dekha sab jagah, you know, everybody was sleeping outside. It was rainy season. कीचड़ चारों तरफ तंबू लगे हुए हैं. Everybody used to sleep there. मैं ये तो बड़ा गड़बड़ है. तो मेरे लिए भी एक तंबू लगाया गया भाई बाहर. गेस्ट बोला सर अभी ऑर्डर जो है कि भाई, मैंने कहा ऐसा है, मैं तो बाहर नहीं सोऊंगा, मैं तो अपने कमरे में सोऊंगा. साला मरना है तो मर जाएंगे यार, गिर जाएंगे तो ठीक है. लोगों ने सोचा क्रेजी आदमी है. Of course, because I think they had seen those shocks and they had seen those effects. So I, in my unit, announced thereafter, I said, anybody who wants to sleep inside in the building, from my side, the orders are he can sleep inside. But I will not force anybody. शुरू में तो लोगों की समझ में नहीं आए. जब उन्होंने देखा सीओ साहब खुद अपने कमरे में सोते हैं, बाहर तंबू तो जरूर लगा रहता था, धीरे धीरे people started shifting, and that confidence came. And slowly, of course, for the first few months, I had to be alone there. But I told the Colonel MS also that I'm not going to command my unit alone. I said my wife and my daughter. Of course, the elder daughter at that point of time was going to 10th. And the school facilities had taken a beating in which only Kendriya Vidyalaya Indian Air Force वाला वो काम कर रहा था. बाकी सब school buildings वगैरह ढह चुकी थी. So I put my daughter there in the CS camp, Colonel Sainik Kiran Memorial School in Delhi at that point in time. She stayed in the boarding there. My younger daughter, who was in class 8, she came with us and we moved to lock, stock and barrel in the month of December. And up Parakram came. So anyway, being air defense general, the good thing was that I was stationed at Bhuj. All my air defense assets were around Bhuj only. Nalia airfield, Bhuj airfield, and a couple of other tasks we had. So I could stay in my house, and my wife did a wonderful job. Actually, she set up a school because the building was not there. We set up a flamingo nursery school, and it really caught on. We had at that point of time opened it up for the civilians also because there were no schools for the civilian kids also. So that 3 years, wonderful job, and I still get calls. My wife gets calls from those civilians who were there, whose children studied in the school. The unit put in a lot of work. She put in a lot of work. And slowly, of course, now Bhuj is a new place, absolutely overcome that. But those 3 years were very rewarding. Actually, I commanded the unit for 42 months, or more than 3.5 years. I got a commendation card also for the work that we did. And a lot of unit personnel also got commendation cards in the Southern Command at that one time. But lovely time. Those command, I remember people used to say that if you, as a YO, what is your dream? Your dream is to become the commander. Yeah. So after my command in Bhuj, I went to Pune, where I was the Colonel Air Defense of the headquarters of Southern Command. And it was there that I got this course for interviewing officers. Course. I had not actually heard much about it, but then when this course came, I thought, chalo, it is a new thing. Went in to do this course and realized it was an absolutely different way of looking at nothing that as an army officer that you have done so far in your life. And that happened in the year 2007. So I had already by then put in about 24 years of service. So I was just wondering, as a malum nahi kya hoga. Chalo, we went, I did well on the course, came to Allahabad for my practical training. And that was the time when I started this technique and I learned my technique of interview. That is the time when the first batch of the girls started coming in the armed forces in the year 2007. I got posting here. There, of course, my first posting was at Bhopal as the deputy president of the 21 SSB. And so interviews started, and 2 years actually, I realized that it was a little different thing that I was doing, and I started enjoying it. Frankly speaking, I started enjoying it, interacting with the young people, young personnel, keeping yourself updated with those. I can't forget as an interviewing officer, first time I joined I used to, these candidates used to tell me, what do you do on computers and all. So he will tell me, various groups they would talk about, which I had not known. Frankly, then I learned. It was from there that I started learning about these groups, chat groups and all those things. So I started joining them and started seeing what is the mind that goes behind joining these various shows and the various groups that you join. फिर धीरे-धीरे समझ में आने लगा. And 2 years actually is a long time for an interviewing officer. And I think towards the end of your tenure, you start feeling, because you are doing the same routine work every day. First time in your life has become absolutely, I'll say, systematic and computerized. 25 days in a month you will have to work, and thereafter you get 5 days of board break. Us time I was alone in Bhopal, so I used to plan my things like that. Aaj ki last board ki conference hoti thi, I used to go back to Pune. My wife, my daughter was there. So I used to spend those 5 days, come back after that, rejuvenated again. But 2 years, I think, is a very deliberate time, I think, which has been kept. Because after all, this monotony should never set in this process. And after all, you are deciding the destiny of a candidate when he comes for his interview and all. You are deciding his destiny. So you have to be really careful. It can't happen that you can take it casually. So I thought this 2 years time is very good. After the first tenure, I thought, chalo, abhi khatam ho gaya. I was lucky I got another tenure in Allahabad. And I was very happy because Allahabad at that point of time was my home station also. And I was also looking towards my retirement time, because 2015 I was completing my service as a colonel. I had been overlooked for the next rank of brigadier. So I said, chalo, fine. This is how life is there. And when this happened, this news of the home, I cannot forget, I was doing an interview. I was in the middle of the interview when the news came. But I said, fine, yeah. I continued with my interview and the whole thing. But of course, I'll be wrong if I say I didn't feel bad. I did feel bad, but I think life teaches you all these things. Army is a very hierarchical thing. And so at some stage, there has to be supersession, even if it is at the rank of Major General. It is a supersession, and you feel bad. First time failing in your life that you've not made it to the next rank. But I think interview technique had taught me this. Yeah, failures, you have to take them in this stride. And I took it in a stride. And the next batch, when I did in Allahabad 2 years, was again a very, I'll say, since I had already done it, so I was redoing it again. But I enjoyed my tenure those 4 years. Ab uske baad by retire ho gaya 2015, I got retired from Ambala. I was the CO provost when I retired. And then on my re-employment, I said, "Yeah, मुझे कोई field posting दे दो. I will go to a field area. My wife is already teaching in Ambala. So we'll keep the accommodation here." They said, "No, sir, you are an interviewing officer and rare commodity. Can't leave you out, so you have to go here." मैंने फिर इलाहाबाद दे दो यार, इलाहाबाद में कर लेंगे जाके. He said, "नहीं, sir, that is your home station. So you can't give you Allahabad." So I said, "चलो फिर दो भैया जो देना है यार." Bhopal was the first employed as I got it. I went again. So 21 SSB, I was the deputy. Now I went as an additional interviewing officer in the 22 SSB. That is the commandant board. So again, those 2 years. But as a re-employed officer, I thought it's a good utilization because I was still interviewing officer, so I was doing what is expected of my a rank. It is a full colonel who is doing it. So 2 years there. I got next posting to Allahabad, again as an additional interviewing officer. So I don't think there is any IO, living or dead, who's done 8 years as an interviewing officer. So long time. And 20,000, I was one day thinking in my mind, 20,000, more than 20,000 candidates in the stage one. More than 8,000 interviews now I have done.
My God.
So my retirement, I started with, going to these coaching institutes where I was conducting, and I get calls from candidates for online interviews. So I was seeing I've done more than 8,000 interviews. So that is I feel those 8 years in my entire service of 38 years that I put in by the time 2019 when I retired. But very, I'll say, they added value to my life because of the way that you interact with these candidates, where you feel responsible for deciding whether a candidate is suitable for this way of life called defense forces. Very satisfying 8 years as an interviewing officer. And since I enjoyed doing it, so I thought, let me also give this benefit to the candidates who come to Allahabad, since I was settling down in Allahabad and my house is very close to the selection center and very close to the railway station. So I said, best is on 17 June 2019, I was retiring and my dormitory was ready. I had worked for this. I had said, yeah, I can't do it before 17th. 18th, the first candidate was in my dormitory because now I was out of the system. So candidates started coming and staying in my dormitory, and in the evening, I conduct 1 hour session with them. I call it a fine-tuning session because after all, it is just 1 hour. This basic aim is to give them those nuances, a little bit of hints that they can adopt, which will help enhance their performance. So that is how this idea came. And I was lucky. I was ready on 17 June, 18 June onwards. And 3 years actually have gone, more than 3 years. Now I'll be completing 4 years in this June. And it doesn't look that I've really retired. You ask me, how did I feel? I haven't really felt. I have now become more busy. Frankly speaking, while I was in the selection center, I knew, yaar, aaj mujhe 5 interview karne hain. तो मुझे मालूम है मैं 10:30 बजे जाऊंगा और 1:30 बजे तक मुझे 5 इंटरव्यू करने हैं, तो मैं अपना आधा घंटा तो 2.5 घंटे का टाइम है. ज्यादा एज ए एडिशनल इंटरव्यू ऑफिसर बहुत ज्यादा एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क भी नहीं होता आपके पास. तो लाइफ वाज वेरी कूल. बट वंस आई केम आउट, आई स्टार्टेड दिस डॉर्मेटरी. फर्स्ट टू सेट अप ए न्यू थिंग takes time, took a lot of my time, and I became very busy. Frankly speaking, I became very busy. Slowly, of course, things started settling down. I thereafter got a manager for my dormitories who can manage, and then I could give time to Trishul Defence Academy for training this. Trishul Defence Academy, if you are interested, I will tell you about the Trishul Defence Academy, which was set up by my dear friend, Wing Commander Anup. They are doing a tremendous job. They start actually for candidates starting from class 10th onwards. Catch them young. वाला वो जो है ना कि भाई उनको 11th and 12th भी कराते हैं. They have association with the Mother's Pride School here, and 11th and 12th भी कराते हैं. साथ preparation for the NDA is there. Then other courses after 12, those foundation courses are there in which candidates can come. So I found the faculty, they were actually not business oriented. They were more candidate oriented, more student oriented. That was one good thing I found. And I said, yeah, yes, this is the place where one can really put in his work, because I also felt as much, and I was never a great fan of coaching because the way the coaching institute or where these YouTube experts guide the candidates and all, it looks like as if candidates are required to do something extraordinary, as if questions ये है जिससे आप पास कर सकते हो, or you have to really practice. Practice and all is very good, but not the way these coaching institutes are telling these. See, you have to practice because it is a very different way of testing procedures. In our usual day-to-day life, we are not undergoing testing procedures like this. 5 days of testing procedure just to understand whether you are a suitable personality for the armed forces. So I have enjoyed it thoroughly and I am enjoying it, and I wish I can give as much time to this particular noble profession, I'll say, or noble way of passing my time. I'm feeling very happy about it.
Great. Wonderful, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Guys, this is the part 1 of our video. Part 2 will be SSB oriented, ki SSB, how to go about that. This part was more of about sir and about his life. So guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe to karna hi hai, lekin do also check out both the links in the description. That is the dormitory which has been set up by sir, and also Trishul Defence Academy. Link is in description. Thank you so much, sir, and really looking forward to the second part.
I will be very happy if I can be of any use to your viewers. I see that you are gaining popularity day by day. A lot of people see your videos and they are useful. I also have seen your videos and I found them useful. And I would be very happy to contribute my might in this particular campaign of yours. I'm so happy the way you are devoting your time and the way you are, even your finances, the way you are helping out the people out there. I think it's tremendous. Hats off to you.
Thank you so much.
Great work, my dear, and keep doing the same work. I will be available whenever you want me. We'll do the second part. God bless you. Jai Hind,
Definitely.
Jai Bharat.
Jai Hind, sir. Jai Bharat.